Yes, they're going to keep you out of crypto, and no, it's not just the United States, and I have articles to prove it. Binance buys FTX. While it sounds good on a surface level, there are some bad things about that, and I'm going to share them with you. The market also has to look forward to CPI data this Thursday. Things are very red now. Do you have your finger on the trigger and your finger on the pulse of the news? Obviously, the heat map is going to be red because of all these factors we have mentioned. Solana taking even more of a beating right now, down 32% in the last hour. It's because there were financial holdings tied to them and FTX. Interesting. FTX said, ooh, I've got a lot of liquid. You had a lot of liquid that was tied up. So how liquid was it, FTX? We've got Ethereum right now under 1,300, 12, 18, Bitcoin 17, 16. Oh my gosh, is the market panicking? And there's several reasons why. So for those of you out there that want to call my videos FUD, yep, you can go on them here. Go into the comments, everyone, and you just say the word FUD. Well, I'm going to come back at you and say this. Everything I show you today is going to be proven. As always, any article you see in this video is linked in the description below. They're going to keep you out of crypto. Binance buying FTX is bad. Well, let's get into it. Crypto giant Binance agrees to buy rival FTX amid liquidity crunch. And while, yes, Binance buying FTX is a good thing because it thwarts a whole bunch of serious, Luna UST style problems. But here's the problem. All right, FTX is this ball right here. FTX was losing money as more people were pulling liquidity out of them. All right, one person, one whale, 247 million pulled out. Isn't that insane? So people are pulling money out of FTX. They were going to go insolvent. It was just going to be a big, massive thing that was going to pull a bunch of other crypto out with it. Binance comes in with this big bag right here. Remember, Binance is number one, and there's kind of weird fightings out there whether FTX is exchange number 2 or number 3 ranked. But Binance has got big bags, everyone. Like these big bags, these are juicy bags right here. But what happened is Binance has to give some of its big bags the cash, which shrinks it, because it has to give those bags to FTX, because FTX keeps shrinking. Now, what you're thinking is, well, wait a minute, Klaus. That's okay because the money's just being transferred. No. See, here's the problem. The problem is, remember that little toy you played with that you would squeeze it and like one side would pop out or like the other side, or if you grabbed it in the middle it would look like guys. You remember that? That's not how this works. So what happens is you've got FTX that's getting drained. Binance has to take its big bag, put it in here. But since FTX money is getting drained, that means Binance money isn't staying, it's getting drained as well. So yes, it's great that Binance bailed out FTX, but here's the problem. Not only did we lose more decentralization because now you have the biggest one out there who bought one of its biggest competitors, so you've got more centralization in crypto, which is bad because Gary Gensler wants to tax that ass based on centralization. Oh, don't you wait, fudsters out there. I'm going to show you about accredited investor stuff, and it's not just the US, so stay tuned. So it's not just the centralization part. But it's the fact now that Binance's cash reserves, because you need cash to get through this storm. We are in a cash crunch right now, not a crypto crunch. There's plenty of crypto out there because we've minted a whole billions and billions of coins. But we're in a cash crunch. So now your biggest player on the block is now losing a lot of cash, baby. Why? Because they're bailing out one of the other big ones on the block. So the buffer, the big amount of cash that CZ and Binance had, guess what, is now shrinking. There are some very big concerns with that because you need cash to weather the storm. And we know right now that crypto volume is down because prices have been crap. Bad stuff, isn't it? Told you, good news, but there's a lot of bad news that comes with it. And most of the outlets out there, they're not telling you the bad news. They're just trying to fluff you to get views. Nope, I bring you the news, the real stuff. So let's start hurting people's feelings. Let's talk about accredited status. All right. Celsius announced this week that its crypto earn product will soon be off limits to most US investors. And I know what you're thinking, Klaus, Celsius went under. Well, how do you think they kept the SEC away for so long? They made their products for accredited investors. As of April 15, Celsius will now accept deposits from non-accredited US investors. Oh, they will not accept from non-accredited US investors. Interesting. Now, mind you, Celsius did go under, but on April 15th, they were like, hey, to avoid over-regulation from the SEC, we're going to make our product available to accredited investors only. Let's slide down the line a little bit. Why? I don't know. I think we're going to hang out in the Philippines. The bank enabling eligible customers to trade Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, XRP is on its DBS digital exchange, DDEX. DBS has opened up cryptocurrency trading to accredited investors through its digital banking platform. Hold on, let's go a bit further. You want to play with Circle USDC Yield? Oh, juicy girlfriend. Circle Yield is an investment offering built with USDC coin, one of the leading dollar digital currencies. Institutional accredited investors can allocate into a crypto-based loan that is secured by Bitcoin. Let's go a little bit further. The U.S. accredited investor law discriminates and takes away opportunities to gain wealth away from 90% of the population. The government's reckless printing of mismanagement money has created inflation of 8.5%, and this law makes sure that only the excessively wealthy can hedge against it. So we've got Philippines coming out with accredited investor rules. The U.S. has got a whole bunch of crypto products now that are only available to accredited investors. Interesting how all the new stuff is only for accredited investors. So the people out here that are watching, no, not you, but the other you, the one that's on the other side, that type FUD in the comments for my videos, you either don't comprehendo and see the big picture, or you're purposely putting your head in the sand and pretending that everything is good. Here's Jake Sherviniski that says Regulation D provides an exemption from the registration requirement for private placements of securities with accredited investors. Accredited investors are individuals with high incomes who, according to the SEC, are given permission to invest in unregistered securities like cryptocurrency. Oh, I have that up on the screen. And that's a NASDAQ article that was just released. And why was this article released? Because I guess investors are running to crypto. It seems that every week there's news about another high-profile person or organization investing in Bitcoin. That's because it's accredited investors. Let's take this even further. BlockFi had a program taken off. Why? Because the SEC said, hey, girlfriend, what you're selling is a security and you don't pimp that on my corner. And BlockFi was like, yo, we still want to make our money. So what did BlockFi do? They paid the $100 million fine, and then guess what? They made it only available to accredited investors, called BlockFi Yield. This crypto interest-bearing option is available to accredited investors in the U.S. through Regulation D 506C from the Security Act of 1933. All right, so let's go to that, and I have that right here. Here you go, the first two lines, and oh, I've got more for you, because I've got more out there that tells you that accredited investors are going to be the only way to get in crypto. So you better really buckle up that seatbelt, tighten it up, and do what you got to do. Sip that coffee. I'll take a shot if you need to. All purchases in the offering are for accredited investors. This is Rule 506C, because as always, any article you see in this video will be linked in the description below. Probably not getting this from other channels, are you? No, they're trying to fill you up with hope to get views. I'm filling you up with facts. Ooh, naughty comment there. The issuer takes reasonable steps to verify purchasers' accredited investor status. So that means the person offering the product has their due diligence is to make sure that you are accredited. Crypto retail investors to take risk test barred from borrowing under proposed rules by the MAS. Here you go. Guess what, everyone? It's not just the United States. Singapore plans to rein in cryptocurrency speculation by retail investors by making it harder for them to start trading digital assets. So all of you that typed FUD under the screen, well, guess what? Start with the first letters, F and U. Industry players will also have to ensure that the investments of the retail investors are ring-fenced. Hold on, here we go, I've got it. The Monetary Authority of Singapore, the MAS, because there's MAS regulations, is now proposing that providers of digital payment tokens or crypto service must test a customer's understanding of the possible risk of cryptocurrency trading. And I'm about to show you that crypto is only going to be for the rich, and they're pushing the poor out. It's not just the United States. And allowing them to invest. Now, hold on. Part of this is not just the knowledge base, because remember, countries, governments across the globe, it's money that has power, not knowledge. Nope, but we're going to change that on this channel, because guess what Singapore said? You have to have at least 1.8 million in assets besides proving your knowledge base. So you need to have money, which is going to keep out how many people in Singapore? I don't know, the 99.9% of people that don't have 1.8 million in Singapore. Oh, Grayscale, you want to play with the big kids, right? And you want to hang out with Grayscale? Check it out. Let's apply for private placement. Sounds good, doesn't it, everyone? Grayscale's private placements are only available to accredited investors. Complete this application to see if you qualify to invest. Oh, interesting. Now, they're publicly quoted products, like their trusts and stuff like that, you could buy through exchanges. And they even tell you that, being like, hey, if you want to buy that stuff, buy it through the exchanges, all right? Here you go. See, buy through your brokerage account. Why? Because if you're not an accredited investor, you can't play in this sandbox, can you? Let's go over now to the SEC, right? It's not about keeping people safe, because I have a story for you after this, but let's share first. Financial criteria to be an accredited investor in the United States. Net worth of over $1 million, excluding including primary residence, individually, spouse, or partner, income over $200,000 annually or $300,000 with the spouse in each of the prior 2 years, and reasonably expects the same for the current year. So do you still want to type those 3 letters down below, FUD? Well, again, like I said, just FU. If you don't believe me by now, how many more articles do I need to show you? Now, hold up. I could go on for about another 15 minutes, everyone, and all of it has to do with the same principle. Anytime there has been action, whether it's been actual direct action from the SEC or companies ahead, right, preventatively pulling products off and then coming back to the SEC for product placement, it's all been for accredited investors. The bad part out there is accredited investors is not a knowledge-based item. It's a money-based item, an elitist-based item. In Singapore, 1.8 million. How about you go look it up on the stats? Let me know how many people in Singapore who are buying crypto now would be able to once all that goes into effect. 0.0001%? Okay, what about in the United States? Accredited investors out there? Are you an accredited investor? Do you have $200,000 in income or $300,000 in annual income, 2 years proven if you are married? Oh, so you think it's FUD still, but you don't because you've been watching this channel and paying attention. And that I say thank you, because think about this. Let's pretend you do make $500,000, but your expenses are $499,000. So you're only saving $1,000 a year in your bank account. Now let's take someone who makes maybe family income of $100,000, but their expenses are only $75,000, so they save $25,000 a year. Who is in better place financially? See, the elite just try to keep you out because it's just a big game. Crypto, which was made for the public, made for the masses, is right now getting wedged into a zone called the accredited investor. It's not just the United States. I have just shown you articles now that Singapore is doing the same. How about you do this? How about you look up if your country has a similar phrase of accredited investor to see if any new products that are regulated by your financial regulators are now being limited to your version of the accredited investor. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. Learn more with this non-FUD video right here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and don't forget, tomorrow is CPI data. Be ready, everyone. Cash in, cash out, cash is king.